is one of the hats that is going to be available to those who comment, like, and share this live video tonight. That's a Berkshire Bananas hat. Now, the bananas are really, really popular. You know, the big bananas. They play at Fenway Park and they play out. But there is a Berkshire's banana team, and we'll be hearing all about that. And actually, there's a little transition into Legion. So this is going to be a great conversation about baseball tonight. And Cara's really excited about it because she loves baseball. Yep. That's all you think about. That's all. Yes. That's your whole thing. Cara Krol, you love baseball officially.
I do actually love baseball, but I was a little burnt out, I'm not going to lie. But it's fun to watch the adult baseball, you know what I mean? But the kids' baseball, between, there's 4 boys, and there were 3 different teams. It got a little bit.
It gets a lot
overwhelming.
It gets a little. It's a lot. So we're going to be introducing Stephen Rotter, and I say Stephen because I'm being formal, but Steve Rotter. They call him Rotter. And he is the manager of the Pontoosuc Lake Monsters, and that is the team that I play for. I was a free agent at one point. We're gonna talk all about that. But real quick, Cara, you have a collab ask. So what's going on here? I'm gonna put this on.
So
the screen.
I don't know what's going on with the Facebook algorithm. I mean, I don't know I don't know if people see anything on Facebook.
Isn't it crazy?
I don't. Yeah.
Even with the show, we have plenty of live viewers. That's good. But when we invite people to the show, it's not getting. People aren't seeing it.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
It's like, I don't know. Maybe they are, but I doubt it. I just feel like I'm putting stuff out there on Facebook. I don't know if anyone's seeing it anymore. But I posted yesterday about any creative people out there who are interested in collaborating and offering classes here at Balance and Bliss Wellness. We have enough space for anywhere between 6 to 10 people, depending on the class or workshop. And I would just love to hear from some people who can do cool stuff, like create essential oils, soap making, cake decorating, anything like that, any kind of unique workshop offering. Because the whole point of Balance and Bliss Wellness initially was to create a community of, healers and creatives. And so I posted that yesterday, and if anyone is interested, please get in touch with me. I think it'd be really cool.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it, because the workshops here are awesome.
Yeah,
we've done
they're fun.
A bunch of those, the sand project.
The mandala.
Sand art. That was awesome.
The coaster painting, we did that. I've done a couple of writing workshops, writing and publishing.
You haven't done Write Your Own Obituary.
No, my gosh, I saw that.
There's one in downtown Pittsfield tonight.
Yeah.
That they're doing, so.
No, I have not done.
That's a thing. I saw that on my Facebook events because we were going through the events.
And I have to say,
that's really a thing.
And this is like for real. When there's a point in time where it seemed like somebody in our family was passing away, and everybody would be like, Cara will write the obituary. I was writing obituaries so no, I will not be offering a workshop on that, but maybe a memoir workshop or something.
That's more fun. Because memoirs are like, you'll be able to read it when you're alive.
Right, and pass it on to your kids and grandkids and whatever. So, yeah. But definitely, if you're interested in collaborating, get in touch with me. We'd love to have you here at Balance and Bliss Wellness. Amazing. So, there it is. Collaborate, and a lot going on. So, adult baseball is something that Lou Orazio is... What a class act he is, and he has been a prominent figure in creating leagues, in creating programs, in bowling, in the Berkshires. Steve, over the years, he was amazing, and that I think all started back in 2012 or 13, and I had some involvement with it, but this thing has grown, and Steve Rotter is actually not originally from the Berkshires, which is something I just learned tonight. I played a whole baseball season with him, but yeah, you're from Oregon originally.
Yeah, Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Southeast Portland, born and raised. Only been in the Berkshires since 2017. We moved here. My wife is born and raised in the Berkshires, so when our kids were little and it was time to raise them, no better place to raise them than in the Berkshires.
And you actually helped start a league in Arizona. Another thing that I learned. So I mean, so Steve has some street cred as far as organizing leagues. I mean, and you have a son who's been going through the ranks in Lanesboro, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But you have some deep history in being a baseball organizer.
Yeah, baseball's always been a passion of mine, playing ever since I can remember, and it's fun, right? And you find a passion for it, and you really just love doing it. And so moved to Arizona after college, and lived in Bullhead City, a small town on the Colorado River, and there was no baseball program there. And I found my buddies were getting together and trying to scrum up enough people to play a sandlot game, and next thing we know, we actually have like 2 teams showing up pretty consistently, and we said, wow, maybe we think we have something here. So we met with Parks and Rec director for Bullhead City, and next thing you know, we created a league, and
that's awesome.
We have 4 teams signed up to play.
That's amazing. And that was back in what year was that?
That was about 2012.
Okay, going back.
About 2012.
Going back. Okay, right around the same time that Lou started the league out here. Actually,
it must have been something around that time. Maybe,
something in the water.
Yeah, exactly right. So baseball rebirth,
It really is, and because I think we have this mentality that we play baseball, and then we grow up and become adults, and then maybe have kids, and then maybe you coach the kids and you help them out, but the time for you to play is over. But it doesn't have to be over, because it's actually really fun to play. It's fun to play the game.
Absolutely, and I mean that's why we do it. I think like especially after high school and college, I think like the thing that you miss most is the camaraderie, right? I mean, you love the sport, you love playing, but you can go pick up a ball and like play catch with a buddy or go to the cages, but you miss like the fellowship with everybody. You miss the locker room talk, you miss all of that, and there's something about playing formally on a team that you get that back.
And speaking of that, for all those who comment, so if you're watching, and we're just starting to build the viewership here this evening, if you comment, like, and share, or any one of those 3, you are in the running for these amazing baseball hats. Now, this one is our favorite right here. This is the Berkshire Bananas hat, and that is a youth league team that your son was on. We actually played them in a scrimmage.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And
they are good.
Oh yeah, they are good.
Yeah.
They're a good team. Yeah. They're a good team. Yeah. So that age group, my son's team last year was a 14, 15-year-old team that they played on, that we put together for the summer. So a lot of 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds that we played against that held their own.
Yeah. It was a fun game. It was fun to watch.
They were good. And I think I remember I had to yell at one of the kids. They were like, I can't remember what he said, and I was like, I'm 46 years old. I think I deserve to be able to, I don't know. I can't remember what the comment was, but everyone laughed, I think. But it was really fun. And then I think they learn a lot too, the intergenerational kind of thing, because they don't know everything. Even if they think they do, and then you can learn a trick or two even from the kids. So it's good to do that every once in a while.
Oh, absolutely. And I think especially when we played that game, if we're talking that game in particular, it really was just so lighthearted, right? And summer teams are normally competitive, right? So we're doing tournaments. We're playing a lot of teams from Eastern New York that are good. They're very good talent-wise. Yeah. And so to kind of end off the season with a very lighthearted scrimmage game against some old guys. I think it's kind of what they needed as well as what we needed too. So
it was really fun, and the whole season was fun, and I think it's a great mix between that camaraderie, that fun, and it's just competitive enough where you feel like, yes, this is what I want to do. So there's that perfect mix, and I think on any team, you can lose that balance at some point. But I think the kind of atmosphere that's been created in the league, some of the teams are a little bit more competitive than the others. Some, there's different dynamics for the different teams, but I think what has been created, especially for the older division, that's our division, is the 33 plus, I think it is.
Yeah.
A little bit older, but just enough competitiveness that you have that drive, but it's still a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It scratches the itch to play.
Yeah.
But it really is welcoming to everybody. I mean, there are players in the league that are 60, you know, and then there's players that you're hoping that they just get over that 33 mark so they can hit, so they can pitch for us.
Where's
right?
that birth certificate?
Yeah, so because there's specific rules on pitching and age appropriate players to pitch being 33 during the season. So but there's such a wide variety. I mean, just for our team, we hit kind of all those marks. I mean, I think we have a player that's probably pushing 50, and then we have guys that just turned 33, you know, and so the skill level is everywhere, but there really aren't too many players that can't hold their own in the league. So it's good competition, and it is serious enough and still lighthearted at the same time.
Yeah, I think that the best part about it, because if you're a dad, your kids are probably playing baseball, or maybe they're playing other sports, or they're doing a lot of things during the week. They're certainly going to be playing games and having other activities on the weekend, but generally that weekend is usually midday or in the afternoon. So if Little League Baseball is playing, it's usually like Sunday midday through the afternoon. Other sports, more than likely, on a Saturday, it'll probably be midday or afternoon, and then of course weeknights. So the great thing about this league is that they only play one time, and that's at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning.
That's
and
perfect.
So that was probably something that was well learned over time, because I think originally it was like Wednesdays and Sundays.
Weeknights are tough.
Yeah.
To your
So
point.
for families and to be able to have that just on Sundays, and sorry for those churchgoers, and that's the only major rub there, but I can tell you that makes it really convenient.
Yeah, absolutely. The Sunday mornings is nice. The fact that it's consistently at the same time every Sunday helps out, because we're all busy. Most of us have kids that still play or are around the game outside of the Berkshire Adult Baseball League as well. So being able to just schedule it and have it be consistently, and all the games are local as well. I know. So for our league, the 33 plus, I mean, we go from Dalton to Greylock to North Adams. So we'll stay in North County. So we're only traveling, half an hour max to get to a location, which is nice. I know the younger league, they have a team in Great Barrington. So they have to balance getting down to Great Barrington. But I will say this league is very well organized. To your point, you were hyping up Lou. Lou is on top of it. Same with Jared. Jared helps him as well a lot, and with everything. And the schedule comes out well in advance. Actually, we have a meeting in the end of February, and I wouldn't be surprised if they have a preliminary schedule already. Because they are that much on top of it. So you'll get a schedule well in advance, and so you can plan it out. Carpool.
Yeah.
But I think one thing I want to stress that you said earlier, John, is about the family side of it. We have so many fans watching, and they're all family members.
Yeah.
And
fun.
it's great because everybody comes along to cheer. So it really is a family event.
Yeah, and I think Cara may have sent me a photo or two of our kiddos watching it. Oh, there it is, right there. So it's kind of far away, but the kids were just all lined up, and it's funny because when you're the dad, you're always giving advice to the kids and saying, okay, because you can see it. You're like, all right, keep your back elbow up, and things like that. And so of course they're like, Dad, you didn't keep your back elbow up, you popped it up. So and anyone who knows baseball knows that. Even Cara knows that one. Keep your back elbow
I've heard
up.
that. Yeah.
You heard that a few times.
Yeah.
So what are the games like for you, Car?
It's fun. It's fun to go watch. I pretty much made it to all the games.
Yeah.
I would say my mom came to a couple. Your parents are always there. The kids actually love going, and so I think even to have more people would be great too, because it is that much fun.
It is.
Yeah.
And so let's do that. We should make sure that everyone, but it should be a rule that the whole family has to show up for. Although I think some players may kind of like it. They kind of like getting away.
Yeah, it's a little.
Yeah, I know. So Emery, my son, is 15 going on 16. He's my little right-hand man, and he loves baseball. He carries my passion, which is great. I'm not going to complain about that. And so he tags along every practice, every game. He's there. He'll
Super helpful.
Super helpful.
Yeah.
He'll try to jump on as to be one of our base coaches, as long as the umpire will let him. Given day, right? The given day, sometimes the umpire's not as willing to have him out there, but he will be. He'll try, that's for sure. But to your point about he'll give me tips like, oh, what was that? When I just run out a ground ball and he's like, you got lucky there, or pop fly because he's like, hey, you drop your back shoulder, to your point. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, and you mentioned a good point. So there are umpires that are paid, and they're at every single game, and I think that makes a big difference. When you have a league where you have maybe a kid is no disrespect, I'm sure there are kids who are very talented and everything, but you throw someone in as the ump and see what happens. But when you have official sort of licensed, however you describe it, umpires, that gives a level of respect to the game as well. I think good officiating makes for a good game.
Yeah, all the umpires are patched. They have a patch certification, and most of them do the high school games. So it's the same umpires that you'll see doing the high school games that do ours as well, which works because we continue to play after the high school season ends. So a lot of them like to continue to be around the game.
Yeah. I forgot we had to announce the winner of the stone. So I totally forgot about that. Matt White actually has a video, and from last week, Matt White, who again is not going to be playing for the Lake Monsters this year. We do know that, but he did send us a video because I asked him to, announcing the winner of the stone. So we're going to see if we can hear this. Okay, here we go.
Hi, Matt White here. I just wanted to congratulate Ann Farrell on her pallet of stone from Swift River Stone Quarry. Super happy to have announced the winner. So happy to hear that, Ann. I hope you enjoy the pallet of stone. Look to get a hold of me first thing in the spring, and I'll get something dropped off to you at your house. Thank you again, and congratulations on your big win. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Matt White. So Ann Farrell is the winner, and there were a ton of people who commented. So do me a favor on this video here tonight. Give us a comment, give us a like and a share. It helps with the reach of our video.
Especially
now with the algorithm.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't know.
You're making me depressed, Cara. This is...
I mean, this does happen every now and again, I feel like. And then
it does, and then it kind of eases itself back out and comes back to normalcy. But yeah, no, we've been okay on our live videos. It's been pretty good, but on some of the posts on Facebook, and that's just how it is. It's really tough to get the word out, even just to your own following these days.
Well, because no matter what you post, people are like, "Oh, I didn't know you were having that. I didn't know you were doing it," and it's like, "Oh my gosh." I
posted it. I shared it to every group.
Yeah, I've been putting a lot more in LinkedIn, which I was never really on LinkedIn much. It was just kind of like an afterthought. But I am getting more reach on LinkedIn as well. Instagram, not so much.
Yeah, I think the organic reach, and Steve, I don't know if you want to chime in on this one, but the organic reach on LinkedIn is actually better than Facebook and Instagram right now, and probably, TikTok is still probably
TikTok's great.
Better.
I just need to get on TikTok, I think. I should.
Well, it's a little late in the game now, but it's never, I guess, too late ever. But are you on social media, Steve?
I am on social media. Not very active on social media, but
Yeah.
I have a Facebook and a Twitter profile. LinkedIn from back more in my corporate days.
In your corporate days.
I've been away from that, and I started my own business. So
Yeah.
I'm
Did you
not-
really?
Yeah, so I'm
Jesus, I
not
don't know.
on that as well. So
See, I don't know anything about Steve
Yeah.
Rotter. I played baseball with this guy, and I've no. So you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
that's
What do you do?
I own A&S Distribution, a distribution company that distributes Pepperidge Farm products, Cape Cod potato chips, Utz potato chips. We do a variety of different lines that we distribute.
Okay, so tell me about that. What is that? So for the lay person, what does that mean? So you have
So from a grocery store terms, I would be what's called a vendor.
Okay.
okay.
So I'm the middleman from those companies, Pepperidge Farm, Cape Cod.
they contract with you to
That's
get.
correct. They contract
That's
with me to
awesome.
distribute their product to the stores.
Okay.
So we've got 2 trucks on the road. I've got
Wow.
a full-time employee.
How long
a
have you been
part-time
doing that?
employee. 3 years.
Okay. That's
See,
really cool.
I would think, or a lot of people would think that in order to get in that game, you got to be bigger. But with 2 trucks,
No, not at all.
You can do it,
most-
okay.
Especially around Berkshire County, most of them are single operators. I just had more desire to grow my company and to continue to buy up more distribution routes and areas
Yeah.
of service.
wow.
But no, it's great. I love it. I would spend a lot of time in grocery. That's been my background. When I moved here from Arizona, I was working for Shaw's.
Okay.
And
yeah, okay.
all of you are thinking right now, where is Shaw's?
No,
'Cause
I
there's
do.
not-
We-
Yeah,
there's
I've
not
heard
one
of
in
it.
Eastern
Berkshire.
Mass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
no, yeah,
The closest one is up in Manchester, Vermont.
Sure.
Yeah, we've been
sure.
there.
So I had a little makeshift office in their back room because I was a DSD operations specialist, and then I'd drive to Bridgewater, which is the south of Boston, 3 days a week. I got real old real fast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But yeah, when I think of Shaw's, I think Eastern Seaboard, Eastern Mass,
Yeah.
you know, Eastern New England, that sort of thing. But that is really amazing. I think I would think that, you know, the companies that do that are bigger, but you know, it's based on routes.
correct.
So if you can capture the route and you can show that you're able to do that, then you can kind of start to scale from there. But you don't have to be big.
No, most of them in Berkshire County are just single operators, so they
Wow.
have one route, one product line. So they either do, you know, Pepperidge Farm bread or Freihofer bread or Dave's Killer bread, which
Yeah.
also does like Wonder and certain things like that. And then most of the chip vendors as well, Utz, Cape Cod.
Nice.
Frito-Lay is a large company, and they hire out for their routes, but there's quite a bit of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So see, I learn something new every day.
Yeah.
And learn something about you know, Steve Rotter as far as his business. So you had the grocery store background. You worked
Correct.
for a corporation, a grocery store.
Yeah, so Safeway and Albertsons were Shaw's parent company,
Okay.
and they own 13 different chains across the United States. They pretty much rival Kroger with the second largest grocery chain across the country. So
Wow.
I was able to kind of piggyback on a couple different partner brands for them. Worked for Albertsons, worked for Safeway, and then worked for Shaw's.
Yeah. I mean, when you're in the industry, Cara, you know, so if you're in the industry and you really learn it, then you start to learn some of the areas where there could be opportunities, entrepreneurial opportunities, and if you can carve out something with that, then you can sort of make your own way with it. But it takes experience in the industry.
Yeah, experience, and also, I mean, drive and determination. You know, and one of the reasons, I mean, working for Shaw's, I was traveling a lot, and especially as my kids were growing up, and how we're talking about baseball, how much I'd love to be involved and coach, and even just be around them and be present for games and after-school activities.
Was it
and-
like long days of driving?
Yeah. I mean, I'd travel to, especially like when I would have to travel to Bridgewater. I mean, that's a 3-hour haul in itself. Leaving the house at 3 a.m, getting back at 6 at night. Like, it wasn't
Wow.
fun. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
so yeah, yeah.
So, speaking of that, you comment, you like and share the video tonight.
Love that
this
hat.
this Bananas hat is you'll be in the running for that Bananas hat. There's also a blue version, which is also very classy, right here. And then we also have the Lake Monsters hat as well.
You should wear you should put yours on.
I'll have to put it on. Well, it is. It kind of looks. Well, I may look ridiculous.
No, you don't.
Because I have a small head. Here's the hat right here. I mean, I have I don't know. It looks all right.
It looks all right.
It looks all right. All right.
Yeah.
We can. How about backwards?
Yeah,
We'll
there
do
you go.
We'll do like that. Okay. So, we got
We had to try to shrink the hat a little bit.
I'm like in real life. I'm like a 6 7/8, but I don't know if they make. I know. Steve.
Wow. I'm a hat guy. So yeah, I'm a hat guy. So 6 7/8. Okay.
I mean, ever since I was a kid, so they never really had the hat that like fit me perfectly because I don't know. I have a small noggin. I don't know.
Well, it doesn't qualify as a youth hat, so that's good.
Right. But it was a 6 because fitted hats were the thing when I was 12, 13.
Yeah.
I think it was 12 or 13. It was late 80s, early 90s, like right around 89, 90. Like once the fitted hats came out, everybody had them, and they were $20, which was it was expensive at the time.
It was a lot then.
Yeah, back then, $20
yeah.
was expensive. I got my Yankee hat, everyone else, and then it kind of evolved from there. But that was the beginning of it, when people actually had access to fitted hats.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
Absolutely.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah, I'm
You're younger than me.
but I'm still a hat guy.
You're a hat guy.
I'm still a hat guy. I love hats. I have an extensive hat collection.
How many hats? A lot. Do you display them, or are they in boxes somewhere?
No, they're like most of them are hanging in the closet.
Yeah.
Hanging in the closet. A lot of Yankees caps.
Okay, so you're a Yankees fan?
Yankees fan. A lot of Steelers caps because I'm a Steelers fan.
Okay.
And then a lot of course, Emery's baseball teams and travel teams, and now Greylock hats since he's up at Greylock.
Yeah.
So I have quite a bit of hats. To put a number on it, probably 50 plus.
Man,
Yeah.
it's a lot of hats, but that's good. That's good. But and listen, if there's something you're going to collect, those are cool.
Yeah.
Baseball hats.
We have a lot of baseball hats.
We do.
Between all the kids.
Well, they're all they all have the Gaelic P
Yeah.
on them from Pittsfield Little League and Minor League, and
The new hats, the new Little League hats, are really nice.
they're nice. I like the ones that have the line, like so. If they have so if it's a red hat with like a black brim and then the P is white with a black, like that's cool.
Yeah.
That's high end. But yeah, most of them are pretty good. But but I like the ones with the sort of like extra little feature there. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's so.
what
I
I'm
would say
talking
that like rebranding is probably like one of the funnest things to do with like
Yeah.
baseball teams, right? Because when we first started travel baseball here, we were the Berkshire Bulldogs, and we had that was our team, and we were like, you know what? You guys want to do something different, because the Bulldogs were around for a long time as far as the travel team, and so they said, yeah, and the Bananas were exciting. Everybody loves the Savannah Bananas, like
Yeah.
you said, selling out Fenway, and we went and saw them
the
over Bulldogs were exciting.
why don't we do the Berkshire
Everybody loves the
Bananas?
Savannah. So it was a lot of fun designing this and working. We actually worked with the Bananas to be able to
Oh,
use
nice.
their logo.
Yeah, I love this.
And then
The back.
worked with
That's good stuff.
I love it.
Yeah, you can show it. Yeah, show it. Yeah, there you go.
worked
Cool.
with Jeff Reynolds
that
to help design our jerseys and stuff too. So it was a lot of fun. And then we kind of carried that over to our Berkshire Adult League and rebranded one of the teams that was the former Spiders into our Lake Monsters team. So
the
we had a
Lake
lot of
Monsters,
fun.
absolutely. So and I think there's a lot of great brand. Of course, there's a Pirates. So
Pirates.
The Pirates. The Thunder was an original name. That's kind of, I think they came up with the Berkshire Thunder, it's Berkshire Thunder, right?
Yep.
And they're the team that is no longer. So this is interesting. So we can get into the nitty gritty for people who need to know all the details of the ins and outs of the Berkshire Adult Baseball League. But there's this team, the Berkshire Thunder, that basically went 4 years undefeated.
and
very good team,
and we played them in the playoffs, and we almost beat them. We were leading going into the bottom of the last inning, and then we lost. But and then the other game was actually pretty close too. So we gave them a pretty good run this year. But suffice it to say, they continued to be undefeated. So they decided at the board level that they were going to take that team and bring them down to the younger division. And so that leaves us with one fewer team. But some of the players from that team, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of the players are going to remain in the league, so they're being distributed to the other teams, so each team will have some more players. But our hope, and probably one of the reasons why I had you on here tonight, is to recruit more new players to the league so we can add an additional 1 or 2 teams to the 33-plus division.
That would be great.
Be amazing.
As we sit right now, there would be 5 teams. So last year we had 6 teams, with the Thunder going down to play with the younger age group. That leaves us with 5. And there's a lot of free agents that pick up every year. So our hope is that there will be a good core of 3, 4, 5 guys that want to play together, and then they can pick up some more free agents around them in order to create that 6th team, because we don't want to have a bye. A bye week every other week, essentially.
Having the even number of teams makes a big difference. So you don't want to sit there and every third week, you don't get to play, or whatever the math is on that. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. So we'll have to have the Bananas to go play every third week. Or something like that to have some sort of game. But with that said, we always get new players, so it's about the timing of this. And right now, there are about 300 players total in the league. I mean, you can imagine when we first started back in the day, there's probably, I don't know, maybe 100 players when we first started. So, over time, 300 players is a pretty good group of people when you look at the entire population of Berkshire County. It's a lot. We're doing pretty well. So if we can get some of those players to come on board earlier, like as in February or March, before the season starts in late April, I think, maybe we can get that team together to even things out.
The let's see here, kind of deadline-ish. Yeah, we have a meeting, a manager's meeting at the end of February. So I believe it's the 26th, so the very end of it. And that's when we'll really kind of start putting our initial team rosters into lieu. But we can continue to add free agents pretty much all year round. No team really has a cap on players. We do like to roster 15 players. We know, like in baseball, that's more than you need, but there's always going to be someone gone a weekend, whether it's just predetermined plans, vacations, so
or injury.
And, not gonna wood.
Let's hope that doesn't happen, but for anybody. But with that said, definitely, 15 is a good number, because really you're not talking about 15 every week. You're talking about, you probably have 13 every week, and every once in a while, those players will flip, which ones aren't able to make it. So that gives you a good number. But if you had a team that maybe has like 20 people signed up, and then you get a few more free agents, and then you cobble things together, maybe you can make that 6th team, as far as that goes. But I can tell you, the camaraderie, you talked about that.
I was just going to say that the camaraderie on the Lake Monsters specifically is really, it's amazing. I watch you guys, and I think it was you, and I'm not sure, but
no, that was Dan.
You guys were
I know
playing,
what you're talking about.
And John, I don't know what he did, but he was running, and I don't know, did your legs lock up or something? And he just went down on his knees, and some guy from your team was like, "How'd you do that, you goofy goober?" I was laughing about that for days.
Goofy
goober. It was the funniest thing.
No, I landed hard. I went straight down.
Yeah.
I went straight down.
He was
full sprint,
and then boom. I was like, what the hell? Did your knee lock up?
No, I just slipped and I just went straight down. It was like, you know, when those soccer players, they score a goal and they slide on their knees, but I did it except not intentionally, and that's basically what I did. Was I was down, and so I went back to third base, but I didn't. You know, I wasn't thrown out.
It was funny. I mean, I was worried, but it was like still funny when he was like, "How'd you do that, you goofy goober?" I'm like, "Oh my god."
It's good stuff. So that's Dan Barrett.
Yeah.
Now tell me about Dan, because he's the other manager, or he's, I don't know how you call it, but like you guys are like the
him and I. So we rebranded the Spiders, kind of to get back to how Dan and I ended up running the team. Is we took over the Spiders. The Spiders was a team that, well, now no longer exists. We rebranded them to the Lake Monsters, but we only have 2 original members from the Spiders team. So a lot of them aged out of the league, you know, retired, as they say, retired from Berkshire baseball, and so we just kind of picked up a lot of new players. I was a free agent. I knew Nolan Pratt on the team. He was actually the principal of Lanesboro Elementary, and he knew how involved I was with Lanesboro baseball. I'd go see him all the time, handing him flyers to pass out home when registrations were starting up. And so he said, you know, I play. You should come play too. And I'm like, wow. I honestly, at the time, I didn't even know that there was a Berkshire Adult Baseball League. And so I joined Nolan. At the time, it was still the Spiders, so I played 1 year, the last year of the Spiders, which was great because we won 3 or 4 games, and it was the first 3 or 4 games that the Spiders had won in 3 or 4 years. So we did make some great changes into culture. Was a big part of it, and morale and camaraderie, because I think that's something that team was. And you know, there's a saying that winning cures all too, right? Like when you win, it helps. Winning's fun, correct. And so we rebranded the Spiders over to the Lake Monsters, and Ken Souza was running the Spiders my first year. He stepped away because he has 2 new children that he's at home with, and so someone had to take it over. So I just kind of came natural for me with.
Now, are we gonna get him back?
We're working on it. Ken, if you're listening, buddy, we should
see a picture.
We should just peer pressure him on the podcast.
Okay,
really, really hard. No, but so it kind of came natural, you know, given my background in baseball and what I've done with the league in Arizona, and then running Lanesboro Youth Baseball for 4 years and putting together travel teams. Kind of just came natural to take over the Lake Monsters, and Dan was right there to help me.
Yeah, and Dan, man, he's the leadoff hitter. Yes. And like every game he leads off with a triple. So I always think, well, maybe he should be cleanup. But then, but then he'll get to third even if he hits a single, because he steals second base, and then he, manages to get to third base. So he's a scrapper.
Yes.
He's a great shortstop too.
Yes, we are a little angry Irishman. He's got red hair, a big red beard.
He reminds me of that. Who's that guy in Game of Thrones? Well, you know.
I've never seen Game
of Thrones. You know Game of Thrones, right?
I know of Game of Thrones. I'm not a.
He's like the guy on Game of Thrones. You know, we'll find him. The guy with the red hair. That's Dan. That's Dan Barrett.
But he does like batting leadoff. Yeah, and but it's fun because I tell you what. I mean, all of these guys, except for Nolan. I've known Nolan the longest, just with his ties through Lanesboro Elementary. But other than that, I mean, everybody else I just met through baseball for the 2 years I've been doing it, and I mean, the camaraderie is amazing.
Really nice group of guys,
and we have so much fun on our group team text messages, and it's just like it's just awesome. It's a great group of people, and again, I joined through being a free agent, and I would have never. To meet these.
Actually, relationships. I do. I've got an actual photo of Dan Barrett right here.
Yeah.
So that's him. And but he plays shortstop for us. That guy right there. That's Dan Barrett. So
that's a good picture.
It is. It's very flattering. But I mean, it's a little bit rough. I mean, he is a new dad, so you know he's a little tired, so you can see that. But it's it's good stuff, and it is a great team. It is a great team. I mean, the guys we got guys who do yoga out in the outfield.
Who is the player that does like the jumps?
Oh, that's TJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. TJ is a leaper. He leaps.
Very athletic.
He's very.
He might be the fastest player in.
He's fast.
Berkshire Adult Baseball.
Yeah.
He's fast.
Yeah, all the players on Emery's travel team wanted to race him.
They wanted to race him.
Yeah, because they were assured that they were faster than
and
him.
And still, people talk about how somehow we both ended up not injured. TJ took me out.
Oh, that was okay.
So I was playing first base, and we both called for the ball. We didn't hear each other, and he came in like a freight train.
He only has one speed.
And I thought my front two teeth were gone. That was where the impact was. But thank God. But it was, but people are still talking about that today. See, it's things. It's those kinds of things. It's legendary now. The stories like baseball,
Yeah, absolutely, and it brings everybody together. I mean, we were talking about family coming to watch and friends coming to watch, and I know like there's a big push on our team that to bring a grill so we can all have lunch together Sunday afternoons after the game, and and location pending, have a drink or two.
It's funny because I learned this in there's a pickup soccer game somewhere, and I'm going to say where it is or when it is, but I was doing that because my boys really got into soccer, so during the fall after the baseball season, there's this pickup soccer game, so I decided to do it, and afterward, I didn't realize it, but it's a feast. They have it. They're out there grilling, and it's the little grill they have out there, and people have a few beers, and like whatever. But yeah, that's what it's all about. So let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's
on
do
board,
it.
100%.
On board.
And I know we talk about the Lake Monsters because that's our team, but the other teams have similar camaraderie as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dalton's a very tight knit group.
Yes.
The Pirates, they have a very solid core. Like they have a very solid like five or
cheer,
six.
Or their arg.
Yeah, 5 or 6 guys that have been there on the Pirates, and they keep trying to recruit to build that team up. And yeah, every time they make a play, they're yeah. Well, I don't like being on the other side of that, but and then Tunnel City up in North Adams, very tight knit team, and so like all the teams have their camaraderie, and so any free agent that joins whatever team that they get on, it's a great time.
Yeah, it is, and I forgot about them. Tunnel City, that is. They're really good.
Yeah, they are.
And they've got their stuff together. It is a top-notch team. A lot of really solid players. I mean, you look at that league and right, top to bottom. I mean, the Gremlins, they're rebuilding. So there's a team called the Gremlins, and I think is it Crosby? Is their elementary school? Is that their home field? Because we played them there one.
So they've had to bounce around. So they've used Lennox War Memorial Field as their home field. They've used Crosby. They've also used the Dalton Legion Field for some of their home games. So they probably have a good, probably not 6 solid guys, but they have like a good 3 or 4 core guys that are really trying to make that team work and trying to build to what we have and been able to keep on adding on players. Because I would tell you, probably last year was the most fun that I've had. Well, I've only been playing for 2 years in the Berkshire Adult Baseball League. But the first year, one of the things I struggled is we only had, 8 guys show up for half of our games.
Yeah.
And this was the first year that I was playing on the Spiders. And it's tough, and you could play with 8 guys. The league will let you play, but you're playing obviously without an outfielder. So it's like, Nolan, you're going to be doing a lot of running, bud.
Yeah.
He's one of our outfielders, and it was a struggle, and that didn't nearly make it as fun. So last year, we really made a conscious effort to grab free agents whenever we could in order to, welcome in. John, that's how you joined us back into the league.
Yeah.
And it was great because, to your point, we had 12 guys show up consistently, and we didn't have to worry about that, to the point where we had, a guy go play for, another team when they needed somebody. And just so we can keep getting competitive games happening.
Now, how did you get started, John? How did that even happen? I don't remember.
One day, I I don't even know what it was. I think it was the boys were done or toward the end of a season or something, and I just decided, I'm like, I want to play like this. And that was it. And I texted Lou, and I said, I want to play. How do I play? Yeah. Right? And so he's like, oh, here's the link, and just sign up, and somebody will be calling you because they need players. And
you were supposed to be on one team, right?
No. Well, no, two. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. So explain the process.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know. It was a bidding war.
Yeah.
But how does that work? Because once someone's a free agent, like they are truly a free agent. There's not. There's no. You're not allocated to a certain team.
Correct. So last year we were on the benefiting side of picking up free agents from our struggles from the year before with only constantly having 8 players show up. So Lou knew that we needed at least a good another 5 or 6 free agents to really fill out our solid 15-man roster. So he sent us he sends the free agent listing out to everybody. It's just the email that the team managers get. But we were able to have, first pick at those free agents that came in just because we needed to fill out our roster. Mm-hmm. So, like the Gremlins were that team last year that struggled with getting a consistent 9 guys to the game. So they're going to be on that benefiting side this year with a lot of the free agents that come in. They'll probably have first dibs at that, where our roster is pretty much set. We have our 15 carried over from last year. So we won't be adding on any free agents unless we had a player that didn't want to play or knock on wood, got injured, and we had to add somebody on. So that's kind of how it works. The teams that are in need do it first, or if there's another team that wanted to create a league or create a team, then they would start picking up majority of the free agents.
Yeah. But for me, it was kind of like, all right, well, take your pick, and so I'm really happy that Steve and Dan reached out to me first because it was awesome. No disrespect to the other teams, but it's a great team. It's fun to play for the Lake Monsters. So there's the plug. So it's not, of course, you can't really get on the Lake Monsters now. That's a good point. Yeah. So we're sitting.
but to hype up all the other teams, like I said, the camaraderie is still just the same with the league. And I will say, like, if you're thinking about it and you're like, man, I don't know if I'm good enough, there's skill level from all over the place. There's players that haven't played since literally Little League or Babe Ruth when they're playing Babe Ruth. And then there's players that had some college experience, and there's a select 2 or 3 that sniffed the pros or minor league ball, some sort of professional baseball. But they're going to play down with the 20-year-olds, so we don't have to worry about them.
Well,
but
and the other thing is, when you played pro, you can't just go in and dominate the game. So there's a limit. If you played pro on some level, then, or I think it's maybe college too, or
college,
whatever it is. But so those players, they can only pitch 2 innings during the game, so they can't just dominate and pitch for the whole entire game. So that makes a difference as well. Although I can tell you, we did a pretty good job. we hung in there against some of those guys.
Yeah, you face the same pitchers. I mean, with the league only being 6 teams, you're facing these guys consistently, and especially with those that have played in the league for multiple years, you're still seeing the same faces. So you pick up tendencies just like anything, and then you strive to get better. So you strive to hit faster pitching, harder pitching, breaking balls, and things like that. So. But it's great, and you got a good camaraderie with teams where you find ways to manage it and make it work. And we've had, we had guys that just hit and didn't play the field because, their shoulder was acting up that week. So it's like, hey, do you want to DH today? Perfect. Or do you want to be we have what's called an EH as well. It's an extra hitter, just another way to get more players into the game to play the game. But we've had a pitcher. All he did was just pitch. He pitched, and we had somebody DH for him. So it's just ways to get into the game. So if you're thinking like there's part of your aspect of your game is going to be a big hindrance to you, trust me, like, we show up to have fun. That's what we do.
And if you have a little bit of speed, I can tell you that whether you're a good hitter or not,
I personally appreciate great fielding because I can tell you that, when someone hits a rocket out to center field and you got a guy out there like Dave DiNicola who can track it down and actually make a play. And Dave DiNicola, I think, had the greatest inning of defensive play in the history of this league last year at the Dalton field there. I mean, he made three
in the playoffs against the Thunder.
Against the Thunder, and that completely, the complexion of the game was really based on that inning to a large extent. He made a great catch, then he made an amazing throw. He threw a guy out. I can't remember if it was at home or not. Whatever it was, I was just like in awe. But when you're a pitcher, there's nothing better than being able to be like, wow, he made a play I didn't expect him to make. Usually it's the other way around. Like, they hit the ball out there and like, oh, damn it. And so so if you're a guy who can go out there and play, and even if you're not the greatest hitter in the world, if you have a little bit of speed and you catch the ball, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we're a team that doesn't have dominating pitching.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan Barrett.
Hey, I'm not blowing anybody away.
So, no, I mean, so we used primarily 3 pitchers last year, just as far as our rotation. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have probably about 5 or 6 guys on our team that we'd be comfortable putting on the mound, but none of our pitchers are dominating. To your point, it's about, can you just be around the plate consistently throwing strikes, and then let them put the ball in play. I mean, let them put the ball in play. To your point, we have a very good defense behind us, and they make plays.
Yeah, that is awesome. Because I think there are many pitchers out there who recognize that, man, it can get really tough when you have some weak spots out in the field. I don't care how good of a pitcher you are. If they make plays behind you, you look so much better, feel a lot better too. I
love watching you pitch.
When you only have to face 3 or 4 batters instead of 6 or 7 batters, what a difference that makes, especially when you're in your 40s.
Absolutely, because I mean, there's no. It's not like Little League or Cal Ripken or even high school where there's pitch counts, right? Yeah. We don't have pitch counts. There's some pitchers that go up there, then knowing they're only going to throw once a week, and they want to throw until their arm falls off. They can't do anything. Yeah, they can't do anything at work, until Friday, because their arm
with the
hurts.
CBD cream.
Oh my God, Cara. After that first game, jeez, like it got better.
It got
patch so much better. By the way, like, share, comment on this. We have hats that we're giving away, so give us a comment. We'll put you in the running, and give us a like, give us a share. But after that first game, because that first game that I pitched, I think you put me in, you left me in there for a few innings, and I couldn't lift my arm until like the day before. And then I started throwing until the day before the next game. So that was like 6 days later. But then it got better, because I think that's what happens.
Get stronger.
Yeah, you get stronger.
No, absolutely. And I know, like, we talk about the camaraderie with our team. Like, I mean, our text chain has been blowing up for the last month of, when are we going to get in the cages? Are we going to go to the infield or Rip City and get some work in? And so, we've had a couple meetings of, getting together, swinging the bat now, and play some light catch indoors, because, can't play long toss indoors. But at least, working the arm and getting it ready, because it's hard to believe that's going to be baseball season with all the snow we have outside and the weather we have. But it will be here relatively soon.
It will. It comes, and I'm really excited. I think that coming in, because I didn't play the full year last year. I played about 3/4 of the season. I missed the first few games, so having the first and I think there's some goals too, because we got pretty far last year into the playoffs, and and there's no Thunder this year, so it's kind of like, okay, well, it's up for grabs now as far as that goes. So so there's probably some expectations, but at the same time, keep it fun. So if you win, lose, if everyone does their best, baseball is a game of, you make mistakes, you make errors, but you do your best, and
I think
that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, we have a good balance of just that, right? We do have players that have played in Babe Ruth, and maybe they played a little bit of JV ball and non-competitive high school baseball, and then we have guys that played some college ball. So we're right in the mix of that, and most of the teams are. So again, you find balances, right? So you have a strong guy at shortstop, and you have other guys at other positions, and they all help each other out.
Yep.
But they make improvements. So to your point of playing every week and playing all the time, like Noah's not the same player today as he was last year when he first started. And Noah plays hockey. His primary sport, he plays hockey in the adult hockey league up in North Adams. And to see where he has come from in a year, he's made so much progress of just consistently just playing. And he's the first person on our text group of saying, "Wait, when can we get together?" Right? Because he's got the itch now that he's playing good competitive baseball.
It is. It's pretty awesome. And so again, everyone, it's the commitment is basically, listen, you can go to Rip City, you can practice, but at the end of the day, the commitment is one game a week, and it's Sunday at 10 a.m. So there really isn't necessarily an excuse. So if you're a dad and your kids play baseball, or you have things going on during the week, or you work nights, or this, unless you're working on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, you can do it. So and even if you can't make it every single week, it's okay. Ideally you can, but if you can't, that's why you have deep rosters, or you try to have deep rosters, to do that. But I think I loved it. I think that if you're on the fence, definitely give it a shot. Get out there, throw the ball around, swing the bat. It's a wood bat league.
Yep.
And that's another thing. So I don't know if that was. I mean, it was new to me when I first played the first year. I hadn't swung a wooden bat before. It's really, it's not that different. I think, you don't get maybe a base hit off the end of the bat like you would on a metal bat, or if it's in on the hands, you definitely get sawed off, as opposed to maybe, hitting a Texas leaguer for a single. So, but if you hit it on the sweet part of the bat, it actually goes further with a wooden bat. And there's nothing like the sound of the ball hitting a wood bat or a wooden bat hitting the ball for sure. So, but that's different than youth.
Yeah, there's not too many pitchers in our league that throw hard enough to consistently break wooden bats, right? It's more so us being very, very amateur hitters, swinging poorly and hitting the ball off our hands or off the end of the bat than like a pitcher throwing hard enough. So, but even still, I think all last season, I think I saw 2 bats break.
Yeah.
All season long, and I know like for our team, we have a plethora of bats leaning up against the fence that sometimes someone's like, "Oh, hey, you've been swinging well. Can I use your bat?" Maybe I can rub off on me a little bit, But yeah, wood bat's nice. Playing wood bat league is nice.
It is cool. Was the one in Arizona wood bat league?
No, so that one we started out as a metal bat league.
Okay.
And most of the players were younger that played, so most of them were just out of college. It was pretty high competitive level baseball. All the guys were in like their young 20s.
Yeah, so still the metal bat or whatever. They even make them out of metal anymore, or are they like fiberglass now?
No, they're metal.
They're metal.
They're alloy. Yeah, alloy metal.
Yeah, and now Portland, Oregon. And how are you a Yankee fan being from Oregon?
Well, so Oregon doesn't have a professional baseball team.
True.
So I get
that is true.
I'm the beneficiary of that.
But there's the Seattle Mariners.
Correct. So most Mariners are kind of the Pacific
and the Oakland A's, and
Northwest team.
San Francisco Giants.
Yeah.
Nearby. Yeah.
Yeah, I like greatness.
You know what's funny?
I like greatness.
I remember I was at the University of Oregon. I was running a cross country meet out there, and it had to be 19 in the 90s, but I can tell you exactly when it was because it was Game 1 of the World Series, and it was the Yankees and the Padres, and our whole team, all Yankee fans, because everyone was from like Long Island and New Jersey and all that, and so that's funny. I remember that. I was in Oregon watching the World Series back in the late 90s, but Oregon is beautiful, and we actually got a chance to run the race at what they call the Prefontaine Trail there. But so good place, but not known for baseball though.
No. So Oregon State kind of changed that. So at the time, probably when you were visiting Oregon, University of Oregon did not have a baseball program.
Really?
Correct.
They didn't have one.
They didn't have one. They they only gained their baseball program a few years ago with all the, is it called Title IX? I think all the Title IX stuff with college sports. They didn't have one. So Oregon State was the big baseball program, and they went through that run in the early 2000s where they went to 3 consecutive World Series back when they had like Jacoby Ellsbury and some really great talent, and so they kind of switched that. And so once Oregon State had all that success, Phil Knight and Oregon Ducks weren't going to let that slide. So they quickly started a baseball program after that. So
more stuff to put that swoosh on. And Lou Orazio. Hey, Lou, you're in the running for the Berkshire Bananas hat because you've commented. Lou Orazio says, "Boo, Yankee fans." Lou, we love you. This guy,
I feel bad for Lou.
Why?
Because he's a Notre Dame fan, and they just recently had heartbreak.
Yeah, but the fact that they got that far. I mean, it's been a long time. I go back, Lou, to 1988. Right? Was that the last time they won a national championship? And it was like Tony Rice, and maybe it was '87. I can't remember.Lou's going to tell me because he has he has his own newsletter on Notre Dame. But Lou is the master of newsletters, and everyone looks forward to his Berkshire Adult Baseball League newsletter because he has that. And this is something else. What I will say about the Berkshire Adult Baseball League, sometimes you play baseball, you play Little League or this or that. 1988, he says. That's right. You play Little League, and maybe at the end of the season, the manager compiles things and says, "Oh, you hit 320. Good job, kid," or whatever. The Berkshire Adult Baseball League, your average, how many hits you have, how many errors you have, your ERA, everything, because Lou makes sure that there is a scorekeeper at every single game, and of course, you can maybe the scorekeeper may give you give it an error when it should have been a hit or whatever, but that's besides
don't
the
ask.
point.
Don't ask.
Don't ask. There'll be it depends which scorekeeper. Sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, okay, Krol, okay," but other times they'll. So anyway, but that and Lou, that is amazing because he established that right from the very beginning, and that's really important. That's really important because you work hard and you're playing in a game, and you get to go online and say, "Oh, there's my average, and I'm 11th in the league in hits or what have you." I think that's really important, and something I'm glad we thought of that because
no, it's
a big deal.
It's a league. Like it's not just like guys playing pickup like a Sandlot league. It's a league, and I mean they got their own website. Berkshire Adult Baseball. They have their own websites, and Lou's there keeping stats at the games. He has a scorekeeper there, and they're quick to input it. And then he also sends out weekly communications regarding updates, scores of the games, highlights of the games, stats, league leaders, averages. He'll highlight big plays that had happened. So it's like scorekeepers are taking notes as well, right? So it's awesome. It's a legitimate league, which is great. Like, because in Berkshire County, it's a smaller population, and to have something this like formal, is awesome.
Yep. And Papa Lou, as my kids know him as, and we've it's been many years, and everyone loves Lou, and he is clearly the heart and soul of this. But he also has a nice little team. Jared Martin's doing a lot of work for the league as well, and Dan Barrett says my arm hurts just watching this. I love it. Well, what does he do with Dan? What do you do with your arm when it hurts? He has this thing he rubs on it, right? What is that stuff?
I know.
Do you know what it is?
I don't know what
Danny
it is.
can tell.
I like using arnica, so I use
Arnica.
a lot of arnica, a lot of arnica during the season. But that's why I try to step back from pitching a little bit. I'd like catching. Catching's always been my favorite spot on the field, so I would prefer to catch more often than I pitch. If I have to pitch, I will, but
well, Dan doesn't want to pitch because here's the thing. Dan because he's a shortstop. So once if you throw 4 innings and you throw like 100 pitches, it's tough to go play shortstop. It's tough to play shortstop the next game after that too. While you're at it, even if it's a week later. So it'd be amazing if we could get one more pitcher.
No, and that's why it was great adding you to the rotation. Like last year, it's like another arm, perfect. Because that's. Yep. Every team needs more pitching, and that's because you don't want to have guys throw 4, 5, or 6, 7 innings, right? Complete games. There were some pitchers that threw complete games that we face, and you're like, I don't know how you do it.
And there's some guys that are just built for that. I mean, there's a guy on our team, Pat, and and that guy, he keeps.
He's a workhorse.
He's a workhorse. He's a big guy. Pat is, but how he does it, man, he just keeps on.
So it's nice. So we have
3,
4 dedicated pitchers. We have about, like I said, 6 guys that could pitch, if we needed to. But
so let's do it. So what I'm going to do also is we're going to put the link up for the league and the Facebook page and also the website, because that's where free agents can sign up. And Lou, feel free to chime in on that process as well. But we would really love to get as many people who are thinking about it, or if you've thought about it in the past. This is the year to hop in because you're going to be in high demand. Because if we can get that 6th team, that would be amazing, and even things out a little bit. But again, the Berkshire Adult Baseball League, something like 300 players right now. It's thriving. People love it. They played at Wacona Park last year. That was awesome for the 4th of July. To be very clear, the city of Pittsfield, if it wasn't for the Berkshire Adult Baseball League, there would have been no baseball on the 4th of July at Wacona Park.
That was great.
That was,
we had a lot of fun.
That was fantastic. They had the fireworks. It was the Great Barrington
Millers. The fireworks were
spectacular. That was the... I know. Sidebar. That was the best fireworks display I've ever seen in my entire life.
No joke. It really was.
It was amazing. It was perfect. I don't know if you got a chance to go to that game, Steve, but
I didn't go to that game. We had other plans for the 4th, but I've been to a few Suns games back in Sun seasons when they played the 4th of July, and it's always the game that has the largest attendance because of the fireworks show. So the fact that Lou was able to coordinate that with the city was awesome.
It was so cool. It was so cool.
We ordered pizzas.
Everything.
The delivery guy came in.
A little plug for my son, Arden Krol, who ran the scoreboard. He figured it out on the fly. It was really good. We had a good time. So Lou posted the league lineup. We got the website there. Really, I couldn't recommend it more highly. Really get thinking about it. Check out the website, but talk to some other players. You can see the stats, so you know who the players are. So if you go through, and if you played baseball before, you probably know some of the guys out there. So reach out to them and say, hey, what's it like doing this? And you'll probably get a great response.
Yeah, even if I know one of the posts that Lou put up not too long ago, he had some comments underneath it that said, oh, I think my husband would love to play in this, right? So even if you're like a wife and you want to get your husband off the couch and, he talks about the glory days, tell him to go relive them, and get him out there. So, by all means, any way that we can get more players, the more the merrier. If you haven't played in a while, don't let that deter you. There's all different skill levels, all different body shapes and sizes. And not everybody is, completely fit that's out there. A lot of guys are just out there just to have a good time. So don't let anything deter you except for, you wanting to get out there and go have a good time.
Yeah, and that is a good point. No more talk of the glory days, all right? Just get out there, and it's okay because, if you had glory days, there's a good chance that you'll be able to do pretty well in the adult baseball league because, again, it's all levels, and, and I'm for full disclosure, after this, I'll be 47 in March. You know, so I'm older. You know, I started way back when the league. I was a little younger back then, but I had no problem playing in this league, and some guys are even older than that. They're in their 50s and so forth. But if you're in your mid 30s, that's perfect, man. You this is your prime time for that division. Then if you're under 33, then you have the younger division as well. So a lot of guys would be eligible for that. So Lou is saying love to put on a 6 team, and I would really love to see that, because we definitely don't want to have any bye weeks or anything like that. So let's get the numbers up, and let's get that team. Maybe we can do a little draw on what the team name will be. What do you think?
Right.
The bananas. How about that?
It could be the bananas.
You already got the branding for it.
Yeah, the branding's great.
Because we didn't discuss this, because the bananas are going to be no more. They're going to transition.
Yeah.
Sorry, term.
Yeah.
They're going to switch.
We're moving over to the American Legion. So we're going to become a Legion team starting this next summer. So most of the kids are age appropriate now to play Legion ball, and also just other reasons as well, moving out of the Eastern New York Baseball League that we did play in, and playing more local teams that they'll be facing in high school. So we'll be playing Greenfield, Westfield, the whole Frontier Valley that they play anyways in high school. So we'll see a lot of the same players there, which is also just
Legion ball is kind of making a comeback, because for a little while there, when I grew up, everybody had a Legion team. Pittsfield had 2 teams. We had the Friendship Tyler Aces, Post 68. North Adams had a team. Cheshire Adams had a team. Southern Berkshire, Dalton had their own team. So, and then over the years, for whatever reason, Legion kind of dried up, and they kind of combined it. I think there was Post 68 was like it for a while. Now it seems to be having a resurgence. So I think that's really good, and I know that baseball is a thing around here. So I don't know why Legion wouldn't be a great opportunity to keep playing ball in the summertime, because that's really when you're supposed to play baseball. Is in the summer. You shouldn't end in early June for high school. In fact, that's when I continued playing baseball, because I stopped playing baseball in high school because I ran track, but I still did Legion, and those were some of my most. I had a blast playing Legion those last couple of years. Even after my freshman, I think it was my freshman year in college or something, I came back because my age was I was able to play. So Legion ball is fun. So Lou says, Fighting Irish. Let's call them the Fighting Irish.
Of course.
Okay.
That would be cool.
I think that is that. I think we should wait. Do that again, Cara. Wait, hold on a second. Oh, shoot! Got the pose. We got the pose. You're good at that.
Yeah, I had. Yeah, I love.
You've had practice.
I love the Fighting Irish.
You love the Fighting.
I had the hat.
You love it.
So she's all on board with the Fighting Irish.
That's
it's not gonna be our team, so that's
Lou,
okay.
Did you know that Cara is a huge Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan? Oh,
yep.
Now you see her in a new light, don't you, Lou?
Yeah.
No, I grew up. I love the Fighting Irish. My dad's a Notre Dame fan, so yeah, I do remember that game, that 1988 game that they won. What was it? Oh my gosh, I forgot who they played. Miami? No. USC? No, I don't know. I can't remember.
Not the person to ask.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, but
But to your point about like summer ball is the best time to play in the Berkshires, right? We struggle with weather in spring. Most of the games are getting postponed due to rain.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons why we started making our own travel teams for Emory's age group, was even after the Little League and the Cal Ripken, summer tournament trial was done, you could be done playing ball in the middle of June, so you still had the end of June and all of July left to really play. So we just started carrying over those teams and playing in the Eastern New York League. It's really kind of how that started. So it's great that that's when our season is really like in full thrive for the adult league. We'll start in the spring and we'll continue playing all the way through pretty much August or into August.
Yeah.
So.
It was actually perfect timing, because then the kids start fall ball right after you were done.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's perfect. So let's do it. So we have, and it was West Virginia. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Lou. that Notre Dame beat in 1988, and for the national championship. So we're going to put the website up. Lou's already put that up. We're going to make sure we link the Berkshire Adult Baseball League, Facebook page as well to this. And I couldn't recommend it more highly. If you ever thought about playing baseball as an adult, do it. Sign up. Give it a shot. Go out and throw the ball around with the guys. And just try it out again, and I guarantee you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. So, So, Steve, it's been a great pleasure. I know we went way over our time. We're having some fun tonight, but we'll put these hats in the running, and we got some likes and some comments here this evening. So, definitely, we're gonna give away some bananas hat. But I think that's a great idea. I think we should call the new team the Fighting Irish. That'll be fun. So it'll be the Lake Monsters against the Fighting Irish, and the Pirates, and the Gremlins,
the Moneymakers, the Ultimate Moneymakers.
Don't forget the Moneymakers. So
and then Tunnel City Freight.
Is that what they're called?
TCF, Tunnel City Freight.
Okay, there you go. Tunnel City, love it. So everyone, have a great night.
Have a great
Thanks
night.
for tuning in. Sign up for Berkshire Adult Baseball. Let's do it. Now is the time. And we'll see you out there this spring. All right, everybody. Have a good night.